Okay, we are back at it again on the Tot Life YouTube channel. So this is video number 2, but episode number 1 of the Storytime series. I told y'all you can expect those on the channel. And I do want to preface this with something that I said in the last video, that I do cook on FC25. All right, so I don't want to hear any slandering of the Tot Life channel and the skills on FC. All right, I am nice. So you will see some of that in this episode. So for the first story time, this is going to go back into my college days. So I am an unk now. I do consider myself unk. I'm no longer a young kid, no longer a young man, but at the time I did partake in a few things. All right, so I don't promote drinking irresponsibly, but on this occasion, I did indeed partake in drinking irresponsibly. So on this night, I'm out in the town with some homies that I went to school with. And just for context, I actually didn't go to school in the States. I went to school abroad. So I had met some Americans. This is probably my 5th semester or 4th semester in. And we decided, hey, let's go out. Let's have a good time. It's the beginning of the semester. Let's just have a good time. Let's go enjoy ourselves. So I said, okay, you know, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? Just have a good time. So we get to the city, get to the bars. We start drinking a little bit, 2 or 3. Nothing too crazy. We're feeling good. Listening to some EDM, some house music. We're feeling nice. Drinks are flowing. We're vibing. But later on, we're planning on going to different bars, because we're not just going to stay out until 1 or 2. Typically, bars in the States, as we know, probably close around 2 or 3 at the latest. But abroad, I mean, it's a different ball game, right? So you might be out to like 6, 7, 8 if you're feeling really crazy. But on this night, I did not make it to 8. Trust. So we start moving around, start changing the locations, and in the next location, this is where things kind of go left a little bit, but they really go left by the end of the night. So at this next location, we start drinking a little more. And again, we're still feeling good, but ultimately we knew we wanted to go to this new place that was going to open the weekend, or this particular weekend, that was going to be playing hip hop music, rap music, more of our vibe. And it was going to be like a grand opening. So the second place we went to, we started drinking a little bit more. Things started to get a little more blurry. And so we basically, at the end of that, make our way to the grand opening spot, the hip hop place, right? And one of the homies, I will say, did not make it. All right, he did not make it. Got a little too turned. And to be honest, he knows who he is. I do still feel guilt over that, right? I feel some guilt. I should have been more proactive. But long story short on that, we get to the other spot, right? Have a good time there. We start drinking a little even more there, which was just a bad idea for me, at least. And by the end of all that, this is where it just takes a turn crazy. So we get out the club with the homies still. We want to get a little bit of food on the street. And we do. And so we're walking back, basically planning to get back to the dorms, how we're going to figure that out. And so we're eating our food. We're feeling good. And for some reason, I don't know what happened. I could barely remember at the time, and even now, how I got hurt. Somehow I must have hit my hand on something, and basically I got injured to where I started bleeding. Now, the bleeding I didn't think was that crazy. I was like, okay, you know what? There's a little corner store here. I'm just gonna go in there, get a napkin. I'll be all right. Go into the corner store. People look at me. They're like, what on earth is this? What is he doing in there? You get your ass to the hospital, man. I was like, what? Man, you tripping. Right? So I'm thinking like, no, they're just exaggerating. I look down. I'm like, oh, hey, I got to get to the hospital. But I couldn't, right? I couldn't. I was a college kid. I couldn't even think straight. I was like, nah, I'll be all right. Let me just get a cab and go home. So I try to hail a cab. Meanwhile, listen, I'm still, leaking at this point, and I'm like, whatever, I'll just get into the cab, I'll be fine. I get into the cab, and I look at the cab driver, I tell him where I'm going, He looks at me. I look at him. He looks at me again. I'm like, what are you looking at me for, man? Let's go. He's like, you're bleeding, man. Get out of my cab. I'm like, oh, Lord. Oh, get me out of here. So I basically say, hey, listen, sorry about that. I'm going to head out. And he looks at me and I'm like, so I give him a little bit of money for the damages or whatever. I don't even remember what I gave him, right? But so long story short, I'm walking around trying to get this arm to heal, basically. And I don't even remember how it stopped or when it stopped, but somehow it did. And grace of God, man. So I'm basically in a parking lot at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and I wake up completely just not good, not good at all. But I somehow find my way back to the dorm. I think I took the metro, so I'm basically on the subway, looking crazy with my arm, injured. And people are looking at me in the morning. This is like 8 a.m. And luckily it was the weekend, so there's no like rush hour traffic of, a work day or something. Hey, so again, I am cooking. This is not the end of the cooking. I'm in the kitchen still. So luckily it's not rush hour time, so I can just kind of, bury my head in my hands until I get close to my dorm room, right? But then I get back, and then I try to locate where the homies were, because I had lost them at that time. Everybody didn't know what was going on. But luckily, everybody ended up okay. Everybody was safe. Everybody got home safely. As I said before, though, I do not promote drinking irresponsibly. Don't do it. Any of you that are under 21, just be smart about your choices, right? Let's be smart here, fellas, and ladies, right? And ladies playing FC25, we know. So, but yeah, long story short, just be smart. Don't be like Tot Life YouTube channel. Don't be like Mr. One Take. Just be responsible. All right. So again, going back to the cooking, as we see, we're up 5-2. We're not done yet. I'm upset over that FC25 pain. I'm like, you know what? Let me give him something else to talk about. Raul Casamigos Blanco again. 6-2. This is how we do. All right, but that's basically the wrap for the first story time. Just wanted to give y'all something more lighthearted, something cool. I mean, it was a little crazy at the time, but we lived to tell the tale. But yeah. So that's episode 1 of the story time. I hope you guys liked it. Definitely stay tuned for some more. We're gonna keep it live. We're gonna keep it hype. But that's it for now. Peace out, boys.